Hello friends and welcome to Tales of Rein Ravine Early Access. I cannot believe it is finally here. Now this game is currently free on Steam, so if you'd like to play it for yourself, I will link it in the description, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited in fact that I will be live streaming this game, so feel free to click the link in the description or in the pinned comment if you would like to join me in the live stream. So, shall we just jump straight into it? Now if you don't know, this is a game being developed by an indie dev who's a single person who created this whole game, and I would probably confidently say this is one of the most awaited horse games of 2024. So here we are, Tales of Rein Ravine. Oh my gosh, so this is our character. We are very pretty. Oh my goodness. Now from what I know, you can only play as a female character, and specifically we play as this person. I don't know her name yet, but this is like a sort of set character that we play as. So here we are, we're at the Equine University. So we've just gotten dropped off by the bus, and I'm pretty sure I saw this in the, yeah. So this is one of my favorite, like, I guess effects that you can add in games is like this zoom and focus. It is so cool to be able to see a horse game implement a feature like that. Look at that. Rein Ravine Equine University International. Founded in 1986. Opening hours 6 to 9 and Saturday from 8 till 4. This is so cool. University access only. I assume that I go to the university, so I assume that I'm fine here. Look at this. Oh, look at that. That's so cool. Okay, so we've got the Cherry Peak Stables summer riding. Oh, wait. If you press S, it doesn't go backwards. Hold on. I need to... There we go. Oh, that's so cool. So we can actually like zoom in. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Okay. That's so cool. So you can actually come have a look at like notes that has been added. That's so cool. Uni notice. Hello. Notice to all visitors, please be advised that university is currently on summer break. During this period, the facilities are accessible only to university staff. We appreciate your understanding. Ah, that's so cool. No trespassing. Well, can I trespass anyway? Am I university staff? Can I go in regardless? Where am I supposed to be going? Hold on. Is there like a I don't know, a thing that I'm supposed to look at?
Euromail.
Euromail.
Those goofy mailboxes look just like I remember.
Oh, okay, so there's voice acting. Hold on, I might need to turn up the voice acting. 1 second. But what do I do is the question. Where am I supposed to be going? Wait, tab for personal item. Look at this! Horse Girl's Handbook, gift card. Oh, gift card for 5 lessons. So we need to go to Cherry Peak Stables, I'm going to assume. 30-day pass, Rein Ravine Public Transit. Okay, so that's so we can use the bus. But if this is anything to go by, I'm going to assume that based on the board and obviously the sign that the university's closed, but it did say we have Cherry Peak Stables. We had in our inventory a gift card for 5 lessons. So I'm going to assume we have to go to Cherry Peak Stables. Now I'm wondering if I run back to maybe the bus station, that maybe I'll be able to get a bus to Cherry Peak Stables. Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, is there a map I can look at? Okay, I don't know if I'm supposed to be able to interact with this bus schedule. Okay, so the bus kind of just dumped us here. And I'm not sure where Cherry Peak Stables is. I'm gonna run maybe down here, and maybe we have to walk. Maybe it's, oh yeah, that looks about right. Oh.
I just don't feel like walking right now.
Oh, okay. That's fine, I guess. So I'm pretty sure Cherry Peak Stables, I genuinely thought the game like crashed there, but apparently Cherry Park looks, or is that Cherry Peak? Oh, maybe that's Cherry Peak. What are we looking for? Cherry Peak Stables. So that would mean that we'd have to go down that way. But she doesn't feel like walking. Yeah, look at this. L to inspect.
Cherry Peak Stables? That's where my mom bought the gift card.
Oh. Okay.
Cherry Peak Stables?
I know Cherry Peak Stables is over this way, but is it gonna... Okay. It doesn't want...
No, I don't feel like walking.
Okay, so I don't want to walk. But then how do I get the bus to my location? I literally spent 8 minutes running around trying to figure out what to do, so if you enjoy watching me suffer, please consider subscribing to the channel and click like on the video, because 1 like equals 1 bus that won't come to pick me up. Okay, so from what I saw, I'm actually supposed to look at the notes and that will like prompt more like voice lines, and I think that will then let me continue. So let me come back here to this board and inspect.
Terry Peak
There we go.
Stables. That's where Mom bought the gift card.
That's the second time she said that voice line.
Terry Peak Stables.
See, that's the thing, is I don't know what I'm supposed to look at because it's required, and what I'm supposed to look at that's like, oh look, there's a cool thing to read here. I'm a little bit lost as to like my direction. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to be looking at, because now I'm back at this board and I'm like, do I just click these a bunch of times and like hope that...
How to arrive at
Oh, there we go.
Bus 75 takes you from the university to Cherry Peak in 10 minutes. I should go check it out.
But I clicked that. I clicked that twice and it said the same voice line. So,
Terry Peak.
yeah, that one. Okay, so I assume now the bus is going to be available to me. So if I had any feedback, I would say just like a wee quest marker, or like just something to give me an idea. So bus schedule. Take 75 to Cherry Peak. And here we are. Oh, that bus is great suspension on it. Oh, wow. Equine University. So that's where we just were. Wow, this place is really cool. So we've got to go up to, I assume Cherry Peak is up this way. Also, I don't know if this is just me, but I feel like most equestrian facilities are not actually that well connected via buses. So I am very pleased that wherever this is has good bus lines and a good public transport connection to these absolutely gorgeous places. Pony! Hello! You're so pretty! Oh, hello! Oh, you're so pretty. I don't know if you're eating or just sniffing the ground, but you're very cute. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love that you can see the horses as you're coming up. And the cherry blossom trees are so gorgeous. I assume that's why it's called Cherry Peak.
Terry Peak Stables.
Oh, we kind of run a bit strange. We kind of run like we're almost afraid to run. We're almost doing like a piaf type run. It's very interesting for a person on the ground to be doing. I'm going to take an assumption here, and I'm going to go up here. While I'm not a big fan of games that like put you on a very set path and force you down a certain way, I would appreciate just a little bit of direction here. Here's yet another period of time where I ran around aimlessly, so why don't you consider checking out pinehavenponies.co.uk. We now stock Schleich horses, and we have a massive giveaway that will launch in just a few days, so have a browse of our model horses, and don't be fooled by the .co.uk, we do ship internationally. I'm gonna head towards this board because this game does like me to talk to boards. Here we go. Book a riding lesson. This will be it. Riding Essentials Summer Course. Introduction to Cherry Peak. I'm going to assume that's my first quest. We're on a horse. Crackling?
Hi there.
Oh, hi.
Is everything alright with the stirrups? Do you need any
No, I think I'm good.
I reckon you have some previous experience, but how much would you say exactly? Like in years, or have you acquired any riding badges, for instance?
Badges? I'm gonna say I've done it casually.
Alright, so 4.5
Never mind.
years in a riding school in Wyoming. So you're from the States?
Yeah, I clearly am.
Half and half.
Oh, never mind.
Your mom's from here originally.
Where's here, though?
Avani Prasad, is that correct?
Okay, so our name is Avani Prasad. So, just to put this out there, I know a lot of people prefer games to have, like, custom creation characters, and then the whole debate about, like, having male characters. That's not applicable in this case, because we're playing, like, a preset character, who is this Avani character, who, as we can see here, is who we're playing as. So I really like that we have a female protagonist, in this horse game that isn't, like, reduced to sort of, like, I don't know, the more like typical like Girls Go Games type like horse riding. So that is a really positive point, I think.
I think this is enough of the blabbering. We should stop now because the clock is ticking.
She definitely speaks very much like a riding instructor does. I would say I'm not 100% sure if that is an AI voice that is voice acting in that. I did see some people say that the voice sounds a little bit like Rattle, and I would have loved to have seen Rattle have like voice lines in this game, which is a shame because I know that she would have been totally up for that. Hold both mouse buttons down for 1 second to start walking. Right, go. Yeah. Okay. So if you don't know, Tales of Rein Ravine has one of the more complex control systems, and I think it works incredibly well. I do hope that they've kept it mostly the same, but I'll kind of go through this tutorial and give you my thoughts. So hold down D to turn Tarty with the right rein. There we go. Go Tarty! Okay, hold down A to turn Tarty with the left rein. I'm going to come away from the side so that we can turn her in to the fences. Once again, hold down D to pull the right rein. Got it. So pulling all the way. If you see in the bottom right hand corner, I don't know if my face cam is covering it. One of the UIs is going to get covered by me. But it does have like the rein signals that when you press it, it kind of lights up so you know what you're kind of doing. Okay, so now we're going to practice the halts. So we're going to halts and then lengthen. So we're going to press W to lengthen the walk. And press S until we get a halt. Yeah, hold down both mouse buttons for a moment to start walking again. There we go. And you can actually see, oh, that's really cool. You can, oh.
I have made a small turning exercise figure.
Okay.
In this exercise, I want to see Tati in active walk.
Okay.
With some length in the stride. Keep her neatly between the cones.
What I was going to say is when you click it, you can actually see the leg moving, which is really nice. One thing I did want to say before I forget is that in the walk, I think that the character, and this is me genuinely giving feedback, this is not me attacking the game or the animations or anything like that. I always encourage people to give feedback and to give their opinions, especially in the comments, so that we can have a discussion about it. But one thing I would say is that when she's in the saddle like this, she's moving her hips forward quite aggressively. And while when you're riding, you obviously want to keep in balance and in tandem with the horse, I would say that this is probably a bit too aggressive for just what is quite a casual walk. And I've already spotted something in the horse's animation that I know is kind of exacerbated later on, but I won't bring that up until we actually see it in action. So let's go ahead and extend. If you see on the left hand side, when I'm holding S, we actually shorten. Those are actually the stride lengths, I'm pretty sure. So obviously when we press S or hold S, we shorten the stride a lot, so we kind of collect it, and then when you hold W, you extend that stride, which is really, really nice. Let's go ahead and go through the cones. So keep her neatly between the cones. Got it. So I really like how they take you completely back down to basics. A lot of horse games, they jump straight into like, you've never seen a horse in your life. Canter, you know, that's just not how that works at all. And we already know that this character has 4.5 years worth of riding like experience under their belt as well. Again, you can tell this game was made by somebody who's very familiar with horses. It is not made by a company who are kind of like guesstimating everything. And some people would maybe consider, say, sections like these quite monotonous and maybe a bit boring, but I think that they're really important because you get that sense of like realism of you are really just focusing on that single objective to get you used to the way that the horse feels. So I think that is absolutely fabulous.
Your reins are the primary turning aid. They're actually not the
She's going to tell us to put our leg on. That's really cool. I love that in the controls of this game. You essentially, it's like inside rein, outside leg, you know, that kind of thing to help the horse. That is just brilliant. I love that. Yeah, so she's just essentially said what I've said, which is like inside rein, outside leg, to help sort of like push the horse around corners and get them like collected and tight. So that's really cool. So I've probably been kind of skipping through some of this tutorial bit because she does talk quite a bit, but I would highly recommend you play this for yourself because again, I don't know if this is AI voice acted, but I have to admit, like, the way she speaks is very similar to how riding instructors speak. She's got some really like personality coming through in the voice line, so I'd really recommend, if you want to jump into this game, I can say that I think you'd really enjoy it. Okay, so start by turning Tati to the right using the right rein. Got it. I'm turning using the right rein, and then we're going to use the left mouse button to, oh god, do I know my left and right? Yeah, to turn her quicker. Wow, we immediately felt that difference. There we go. Start by turning with the left rein. So now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to turn to the left, and then we're going to push her around with the right leg on, which is so cool.
turning with the rein.
Yeah, there we go. We're trotting.
Honestly, your posting in the trot is looking pretty nice.
I would actually disagree with that. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I only recently had a riding lesson, and her seat position isn't great because if you look at her lower leg where her foot is, as she's rising, her stirrup is coming forward, which would throw her off balance quite badly, and you want to keep quite a still leg, so you want the pivot to come from sort of the knees to like lift the hips up rather than moving like literally forward and back on the legs. I would also say that her neck is a little bit like forward. Usually I believe my instructor told me it was the ankles, hips, shoulders, ears that you want to keep like in a nice like straight even line, and I would say like compared to her shoulders, her neck is quite far forward, meaning her ears are also kind of out of line with everything. So as much as this is really like progressive, I would say that unless we see those animations sort of improve as we take more lessons, I would just say that those are probably not the best examples of a seat if we're going to get granular about it. I might extend the trot a little bit while we're going, so we've got a nice active trot. Look at us go. And I'm going to utilize my new knowledge about applying the leg aids so that we can get through these tight turns nicely, and then we can keep up the speed while also maintaining the control and the balance. We turned a bit quickly there actually, but yeah, I would say like overall this is the horse game. Like this has all of the little bits that I love to see. I think that there's a really big issue in the horse gaming industry of like sacrificing gameplay for realism. I'll maybe speak about this more extensively in another video, but the reason that I like this game so much is because it doesn't sacrifice gameplay for realism. In fact, it allows realism to enhance its gameplay, as we can see through these controls and through like these exercises. So big thumbs up from me. The controls are a little bit like, I wouldn't say not intuitive, but I would say you have to get used to them and you have to actually practice at them. And I would say that is one of my favorite things in a game, where I feel the controls aren't punishing me for doing it wrong, but I'm being rewarded by getting it right, if that makes sense. I hope I'm coming across clearly there. The better I get at like learning the controls and learning how to like control the horse and switch gaits more smoothly, then the better my ride is going to be, and the happier I am, therefore more like dopamine. I'm enjoying the experience more. There's a lot of games that it's like, I'll just press W to speed up and it's super easy to sort of get through. Instead, this game is challenging while also rewarding you for getting better at that challenge. So yeah, there's a lot of really good things in this game, and you'll see me praise it throughout this video. And I think there are some topics I'd like to touch on as well, probably more intently, maybe in another video, as I'm doing more research on the topic. I know that it was a hot button topic as well about the communication breakdown that occurred about a month ago between the developer and the community supporters, but probably touch on that in another video. So that was our first lesson. From what I know, this is pretty much going to be like, this obviously board is where you're gonna interact, and obviously you can see that there's 2 more courses to go, and I know for a fact that there's cross country after, like, I think you do the lessons, so I'm really excited to jump into that. So this time we're going to be learning about gait transitions and canter basics, so we'll be moving a little bit faster this time, and I'm quite excited. So we're back on Tati, I think it is.
Hi there, Gait.
Hi. Got it. We're going to warm up the horse.
It's gonna be her first lesson of the day, so...
Okay, so I would say, again, like another little kind of nitpicky thing would be, obviously, from my perspective, I went from the introductory lesson to this second lesson, but clearly, in, like, the storyline, this is, like, the day after, or maybe I assume it's the day after because it's Tati's first lesson of the day. So I think I would have liked to have seen some kind of, like, day change, or some kind of, like, you know, you come back the next day screen. Again, I'm doing this quite clunkily because I'm not a game developer, but something that would have indicated, okay, the day is over, or even just an activity where it's like, maybe I finished that lesson and they're like, you know, go muck out the stables, or go, you know, head home, or whatever it is, just so that I could like break up and I can mentally know, okay, this is the next day. Again, nitpicky things, but just little things that I think could like polish the experience quite nicely. So I assume all of the green ones are trots. So I just have to be, oh, this is tight turning. I just have to be aware of when there's a walk one. And it does take a little bit of time to transition, so I need to be vigilant of that. And obviously, because this is really good, because essentially, like, a lot of games, especially horse games, they tend to want you to go as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, because they assume that that is, like, the most interesting way of doing things. Sometimes when you get sort of, like, a bit more granular like this, yes, obviously, I want to be in, I want to be in a faster trot, because that'll get me through this quicker, but it also means that if I'm in a faster trot, it means my stride is bigger, which means it takes longer for me to transition down into the walk. Clever stuff. Very walk. Okay. It is tricky. She wasn't joking. So I could, for example, here decide I'm going to go into trot and then transition back down, or I can play it safe and just walk. Come on. Oh. See, there I got a bit overzealous and I cantered by accident. So now I have to ride the whole thing over again. Sorry. I can't remember the name of my instructor, but clearly I'm a terrible student. I'm so sorry. She's gonna make me do the whole thing again. Is this Trot? Oh. Is it? Hello? Oh no, it's not working. Okay, so this is very typical of early access games. That they won't always be like flawless. It's kind of annoying. Can I just exit the lesson? Oh, am I gonna have to do the whole lesson again? Okay. Okay, so while I'm waiting for her to sort of finish talking so we can start with the lesson, I did want to touch briefly on the canter, because I actually saw a video of the canter before this game released, and I did give a little bit of feedback for it. I don't think that Maya ended up changing any of the animations, but what I was talking about is if you look in the walk here, if you specifically focus on the back legs, you kind of notice that at no point is the leg straight. So yeah, as the video is showing here, that as the horse is in the walk cycle, it has a moment where the fetlock is bent as it's like picking up its hoof, then it's straight as it's putting it back down, then as it kind of goes over the leg then straightens out to support that, and then it again like curls almost to come under the horse to repeat the cycle. But when we look at this horse walking, we see that the leg is never sort of truly straight, especially when it's just come behind the hip, where that's when it should begin to bend, and it does, but the problem is the leg is already bent when it's sort of at its furthest part, like when the leg is at the furthest point back it can be. And this doesn't look too bad in the trot. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, maybe a little bit. Again, you get that like C shape at the back. At no point is the leg straight and supporting the back end. So it's not too noticeable, I would say, in the trot. However, once we up to the canter, you really, really start to see it. You start to see that the entire time, it's almost like the leg is like held up like this. Like, where's the best way to put this? Like, it's like, I can't bend my arms like that. You can imagine, like, the fetlock is pretty much always bent. The hind knee, I can't actually remember what the technical term for it is always bent. When in reality, you should be getting this. Obviously, this horse is on, like, a lunge line, and so it's sort of going around. But we see, yes, the fetlock does come up and bend, but within that bend is a lot less intense as the one we've got in Tales of Rein Ravine, and there is sort of a moment where the hind legs are straighter than we get at any point during that like animation cycle. And the thing is not everyone will be able to spot it immediately, but it is more prevalent, and I believe this might stem from the actual model itself. As you can see, the standing position, everything sort of looks fine, but then the moment we go into a walk, the fetlocks bend, the legs end up in the sand. So essentially what it looks like is when you have the static horse, the length of the leg makes sense, but then as soon as you've animated it, the leg is actually longer, so you end up having to like cramp it in what is essentially the same amount of space as when it is standing, even though the leg is longer. So you end up with a cramped back leg that's compressed, that's not bending in the right places, it's bending too far in too many places. Now, if you're wondering how I've been able to spot this, I am actually a game consultant, so I've worked on things like this before, breaking down animations as well as gameplay elements. If you'd like to read more about game consultation, you can go to my website, abigailpinehaven.com. So if you are creating a horse game and would like an equestrian's input, as well as somebody who is very, very close to the horse gaming industry, feel free to contact me. So yeah, that was just one thing that I did notice in Tales of Rein Ravine, and I do hope that it is fixable in the sense of that she can just go back and sort of tweak it as time goes on. Now we're doing stops and canter. We're in a new horse. Oh, goodness. This horse looks a little bit strange in the face. I don't know if it's the model or just me. I don't know. See, that was something they had in the demo where each horse had like a different sort of ability scope, but then they had different temperaments as well, so you had to give them more like aids, and you had to, you know, they were like, they could jump bigger, but then you had to be a better rider sort of to ride them. So I really, really like that. Now, I do just want to reiterate, I am completely aware that this is, from what I know, an indie dev, so I believe this is one of their first games. So I'm by no means whatsoever saying, oh my god, why isn't this perfect? This game, yada yada. I was expecting perfection, because I wasn't at all. I'm incredibly impressed with the product that they have achieved. I am just giving this feedback as like a genuine player at this point, so that hopefully they can either tweak it or just add little bits and bobs here and there, just so that other people can also like benefit from them. And that's why I encourage you guys to let me know in the comments what you think. If you've played this yourself, we did it! If you played it yourself, give me your feedback as well, and hopefully the dev will be able to see it and make their own decision on what they want to add and what they don't. Alright, so that seems like that's all like the lessons sort of done. I do wonder, now that did take quite a while. I don't have any issues with like lessons being that intensive. I would just advise if there is any sort of other elements of gameplay that either I haven't seen yet or that are going to be introduced in the future, I would love to see them break up the lessons a bit, because to have, basically I would say I was in the lessons for about 40 minutes. Of like non-stop riding. I would have liked to have seen that broken up just a little bit, just to allow my brain just some time to process what I was kind of being taught, and to sort of like just let everything sort of sink in, and again, as I said, like just to break up the lessons just a little bit. I have very strong opinions on horse care mini games and horse care mechanics and stuff, which I might do a video on one day, but even if there was just some other activity that I could have participated in between the lessons, so that I, one, know that like some time has passed, either this is the next day or the next week or whatever, and two, just something to kind of break up what could end up being a little bit monotonous, especially if you are, for example, struggling with the game, or you're struggling to have patience even with the game. So maybe just having a little bit of something just to kind of help out newer players. I did obviously briefly, ooh, angry horsey. I did briefly touch on the horses like animations and stuff, but I did, before we finish, I did want to go around the eventing arena. Yeah, so although I can appreciate that the game is stylized, I would say that the player animations are a bit strange. Like, she runs a bit like she's got to poop, and maybe she does, no judgment there, but it is a bit of an unusual kind of gait, if you will, for someone to have. See, the problem is, I would say, is from this point on, I, for example, know that there is a cross-country riding course somewhere to access. Do I know how to access it? No, I'm going to have to find it out. And while I'm a big fan of letting players discover things by themselves, I wouldn't recommend just sort of letting players loose, because not everyone will be able to find things or even believe that there is more content to discover. So even if there was just like a little hint, either that the lesson lady said like, oh, if you go to their boxes, that there's stuff to do there, or, you know, if you go to this board, then there's, you know, more to kind of experience. I would just like a little bit of direction, I think. So we can actually go inside the horse's stalls. Rent Blaze for today. I will be renting Blaze for today. Okay, so we kind of just get like released into the arena. Now, what was that? That was strange. Okay, so they have implemented like a turning mechanic, as you can see here, but it doesn't appear to have any animation. I don't know if that was intended, but I would like to see some sort of like animation of like either the horse crossing across its body to like step across, rather than the strange sort of static rotating that we've currently got going. I really would like to know where where the cross-country course is, though, because I did want to try that out. This is the last one, I promise. Maya, please implement some sort of guidance system, because I wasted another 7 minutes trying to find the cross-country course. And if you would like to join the discussion on Tales of Rein Ravine and any other horse games, feel free to join our Discord. The link is in the description below. That's discord.gg/Pinehaven. And feel free to follow me on Instagram. I'm at Abigail Pinehaven. Okay, so apparently that's partly my fault. When you come to the horse rental section, even though it looks like you can click them, you don't actually click them. You have to go and rent the horse. So when I rented Blaze, I went to the jumping arena, and when I go to rent Tarty, I'll go to the eventing grounds. The reason I thought that I could take Blaze to the eventing grounds was because the lesson woman said that Blaze liked going eventing, so I kind of assumed that Blaze was the eventing horse. Yes, that is my bad, but just stuff like this where it's you can see where, say, I went wrong. I won't be the only person to make that mistake, so just this is QA testing here, essentially. So instead I was supposed to go up to Tarty and go ahead and left click to rent her, to then go here to the cross country. So yes, that was my bad, but the design could have been a little bit better there. So we are now on the cross country course. Now, obviously, I don't think that this is scored or anything. I think this is just for you to kind of enjoy, if you will. So I did want to try out some of the jumping and obviously the cross country. Now I'm pretty sure I have the striding set on easy. Yeah, I do have the striding set on easy, and obviously this is great that if you want to be striding and you might be how do you tell when the stride is going to be correct? If you see on the horseshoe, that you can see that it lights up green. So when it lights up green, that's when you can press space to jump, so you can get the striding. So I assume easy will just give me a big buffer between the green lights, so that I can kind of just jump it almost every time. See, she's adjusting the stride for me, I think. I don't really necessarily feel I'm achieving much, which is a bit of a shame. I would have liked to have seen a cross-country lesson. And again, I've got to be completely honest here. There could be a cross-country lesson, but at the minute, this game lacks a little bit of direction and instruction for players. So as much as you might say, oh, well, all you have to do is go have a look, and you will find a note that says, you're invited to a cross-country competition or whatever it is. We need a little bit more direction and not necessarily, spoon feeding and hand holding, but just something where I'm okay, that's my next objective. That's where I'm going to aim to go next. That's what I'm going to aim to do. As I said, though, I am aware this is Maya's first game, so of course she's not going to get everything perfect, but it does mean that any sort of feedback like this is very, very important. We've seen multiple cases of horse game devs not being able to take feedback and believing that feedback equals us saying that the game is rubbish and us saying that we want to see them fail, when in reality we all want good horse games. It doesn't matter if you're a critical YouTuber or you're someone who just likes to sort of see the positives and everything and enjoy everything. We all want to see good horse games come to market for our own pleasure and as well as everybody else's. So please don't ever take feedback as me ever saying that I want to see a horse game fail, or that I want to, personally attack the developers. That is just me saying, here is a part of your game that I think that you could improve. And they might disagree with me, fair play. But at the end of the day, I am a player of the game, and so my feedback is coming from a place of, I'm literally playing the game and I'm telling you how I'm experiencing it. So I'm pretty sure that's it for the game. I'm clearly not very good at cross country. Again, this is in early access, so this game will be receiving updates, it will be receiving bug tweaks, all of this sort of thing. So if you would like to see me cover more of this game and cover any updates and future content, feel free to subscribe, and I'd really appreciate it again if you click the bell notification so you do get notified when I'm posting a video or when I'm live. So if you enjoy live streams, feel free to come on by, and feel free to go to pinehavenponies.co.uk to pick up your very own model horse. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay positive, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.